Hi. Yeah, it's much better. So, how's it going? I was supposed to watch The Haunting of Hill House this weekend, and I tried, but God, what is? It's a hair. I tried, and I got through the first like minute and 40 seconds. And that's because I quit twice and tried to go back to it, and I couldn't do it. Something about that show is just so scary. Even though I've seen it before, I don't remember every single scary thing that happened. So yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I'm seeing one of my friends is coming up very soon, so she said that she and I could watch it together. So I will put that off for another weekend. Yeah, I spent the majority of my weekend watching Squid Game. I'm not going to talk about it except to say that the hype isn't overhype. And if you're curious about it, you should watch it. Because I thought it was pretty damn good. That's all I will say. Because most of my weekend was taken up by watching not the shows I was supposed to be, I made today's spooky movie / show Over the Garden Wall. And that was partly because it's so not terrifying, but also because it's a pretty quick watch. It is a series. It came out on Cartoon Network, and it's 10 episodes long, and each episode is about like 10 minutes long. So it's like watching a movie. I first saw it a couple of years ago. My sister told me that I really needed to watch it. And I said, okay, and then I watched it, and I absolutely loved it. She and I have the same, like, Hulu information, so when I first started watching it, it started me in, like, a random episode, and not even at the beginning of an episode, at a random point, and I didn't even really notice it. I was like, oh, what a strange thing to just throw me into the story. And it wasn't until, like, close to the end of that episode that I realized what had happened, but I don't know, that was just kind of cool, just to see that, like, I'll get into it. But, yeah, it's a show that I absolutely love. So when I told her that I watched it and then I finished it, she was like, so did you get it? And, like, I don't like not understanding things. So it bothered me that there was a deeper meaning and I didn't catch it. So I looked it up and I was like, damn, I absolutely should have seen that. There's no excuse for me not seeing that. Okay, but anyway, if you haven't seen it, you really should. It's on Hulu, and like I said, it's a very short watch, but it's also just like so comforting. It's so cute, along with it being so deep and so just like interesting story-wise. It's also just like brilliantly written, and it takes place over, I don't know, it's one of those shows where you don't really know when it is, because everything is just kind of so different. But like I know that the writers and the creators took a really long time to get every era exactly right, like down to the clothes and doorknobs and architecture and everything. It's just like this perfect autumn show. All of it takes place in the fall, and it sort of ends in the winter time, but like the overall feel is purely autumn, and so it's just like a great time of year to watch it. The character is also really lovable. Elijah Wood plays one of the main characters. Greg is just like such a fantastic character. He's just like this kid, and he's so cute, and you just love like almost everything that he says. Like, it's a rock fact, and I don't know. I love this show to bits, and I've seen it again. It's one of those things that I've seen way too many times. So when I watch it, I'm just like, I don't know. It's very comforting. So on this little list up here, I have Dante written down, and that's because of the deeper meaning behind the show. So the reason why I'm so mad that I didn't originally see, like, you know, what the overall symbolism was, or theme, I don't know, theme, whatever, is because there's this very large, like, theme around trees, and around giving up. And so I had to read Dante's Inferno, like, in high school, and one of the things that always fascinated me about it was, like, so there's, like, circles of hell, and then one of those circles is a circle of violence, and then within those circles are 3 rings. One of those rings is violence towards self. And so if you're unfamiliar with Dante's Inferno, you're walking through hell and through the other rings of hell. I'm sure you've heard about it at least once in your life. But there are these trees, and that whole thing just always fascinated me, that, like, the people who killed themselves in life became trees, like, as punishment in hell. And my English teacher defined, like, he said that like, movement means life, and at least, you know, in a literary sense, but I guess also in a real sense too. So then, like, you gave up, so now you're a tree and you can't move, but you chose that, and it's like, I don't know, it's neat artistically. I was always fascinated by that. So in this show, that kept coming up, and I did think of Dante's Inferno, but, you know, like, so many pieces of art reference that all the time, and it could be, you know, referencing any bit of that novel. I guess it's a novel. I don't think it is, actually. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I did catch that, but I didn't think too much into it. But I should have, because the entire show is Dante's Inferno. The show takes you through literally every circle of hell, and it's each episode. I think the first isn't really a circle of hell. I forgot. It's been so long since I've read Dante's Inferno, but yeah. So when you rewatch it, knowing that, it's very fascinating to see how they put little things in there, like the gluttony circle. You're in this, like, tavern, and Greg's eating a fuck ton of shit, and what's the other, like, greed, and then you have, like, those 2 really rich people living in those mansions. I'm trying to remember, like, the others. I don't know. I don't really remember. The lust one, fuck, is the teacher. Anyway, there are so many other videos out there that, like, actually lay out what I'm talking about, and I would watch those if you're very interested. But yeah, and then the music is just so lovely too. The piano, and then, like, all of the songs that go on, like Potatoes and Molasses, and the frog singing in that one episode. Oh, and then I have poetry written down. And then I just love, like, the little bits of poetry that they have going on that where it says, like, is the dove never to meet the sea for want of the odious mountain? I looked it up. That's just straight from the show. It's not quoting anything. But I really love it. It's just, like, little things like that were so, like, just purely creative. And it's cool that Cartoon Network even, like, let this show be on there, because it's not, like, again, it's not necessarily a kid's show. Like, parts of it are really scary. Like that episode with the girl who's sick and then she happens to be the one that they should have been hiding from all along. And even not the woodsman, the beast. He's terrifying. And then you realize, like, oh, he's just a weird hodgepodge of trees, which is also a very Dante Inferno thing when you realize, like, the devil isn't even... He's just this weird, sweaty thing at the bottom of everything. Fuck. Oh, and then the 9th episode. That's the one that was just, like, really neat to see the... like the origin story, some backstory, because that's when we really find out, you know, like that they're even from today's age, and how did they even get into this forest and or woods, and how did they, you know, why? Oh, that was the other thing. So when I was saying that I just started in a random episode and it didn't feel all that weird, when you do start the show, it just starts out with them walking in the woods, and the brother just kind of freaks out and is like, where are we? And Greg's like, in the woods? And it's just like, they're literally just dropped in the woods. And that's what kind of happens in Dante's Inferno too. You're just dropped there. There's also Beatrice, also the bird. And then like that, everything is foreshadowed at the very beginning in the opening credits. And actually it goes episode by episode by episode. Everything that they're gonna encounter. And then just like the whole thing with the woodsman and the lantern, like that shit was heartbreaking. Very sad. Sad, sad stuff. And then that is just like an artistically beautiful show. It really is. Yeah, I love this show a lot for many reasons. And that's all I have to say about that. So what else? I think tomorrow is going to be, I think it's the Sweeney Todd one. I've never seen it. I don't even know what it's about. I kind of went off of my sister's advice there. She says it's Halloween-like or spooky-like, and I was like, okay, well, it's going to be on the list. I don't know much about it except that there's music and that it's that one musical that Andy does in The Office. And then hopefully in the coming weeks, I will actually watch The Haunting of Hill House because it's so scary. And I mean, nothing even happens. It's just horrifying. Like the idea of just being a little kid in the room and seeing a terrifying creature and your parents come in and it's gone. And then they're like, oh, you child, go back to sleep. And you're like, but like, I'm so scared. No, that hurt. Pain. Sorry, that game wasn't as good. Yeah, so next is Sweeney Todd. I think I'm gonna have to rent that one on Amazon. Yeah. I hope you liked my festive chongo. Yeah. Okay, bye.